everyone! So in my last video we talked about pronouns and we broke down those pronouns into their varying subcategories, and there were 8 of them, so it was kind of difficult to memorize them all. Today's video is going to focus on a new part of speech, and it's going to be easier as there are only 3 subcategories. So today's video is going to focus on verbs. A big question that we automatically have to ask ourselves are, what are verbs and what do those verbs mean? What do they do? Verbs are a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence. And as I said, they can be broken down into 3 subcategories. And those subcategories are action verbs, auxiliary or helping verbs, and linking verbs. And we're going to talk about those a little bit. Action verbs are words that express action, such as play, walk, or read. It tends to be the easiest subcategory of verbs to identify because it shows action. It's what you do. So if I said, Schnoz likes to play in the water, and I asked what action would be taking place, you would say play. That is the action that Schnoz would be doing. Auxiliary verbs, or helping verbs, help the main verb in the sentence by extending the meaning of the verb. There are 4 categories of auxiliary or helping verbs, and those categories are to be, to have, to do, as well as something called conditionals. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and break those down. Forms of to be include am, is, are, was, were, be, been, and being. These are used in progressive tenses and passive voice. To have includes has, have, and had. These are used in perfect tenses. Then we have to do, as in do, does, did, and done, and there are others. Then we have our conditionals. These are also called modal auxiliaries, and these include would, can, could, shall, should, will, may, might, and must. If I said the manatee will be swimming tomorrow, and it's an auxiliary verb, it's helping that verb, we would say that will be would be the auxiliary or helping verbs, but will be swimming would be the whole verb phrase. Our last type of verb that we need to look at is called a linking verb, and linking verbs express a state of being. They're called linking verbs specifically because they link the subject of the sentence to a word or phrase in the predicate that renames or describes the subject. It tells us more about the subject's state of being, and these words include appear, become, feel, grow, look, remain, seem, smell, etc. Okay? We could also say sound, stay, taste, or turn. Okay? I could say the lost manatee looked scared, and the linking verb there would be looked. We know that it would be looked because it's talking about the state of being that Schnoz would be in. Go ahead and pause your screen for me real quick and answer this task that is given. You need to write 3 sentences using the different forms of verbs we learned about today. So you need to write a sentence with an action verb. For example, I wrote, Schnoz likes to play in the water. You need to write a sentence showing auxiliary or helping verbs, just one. And my example was, the manatee will be swimming tomorrow, with the auxiliary or helping verbs being will be. And then you have to write a linking verb sentence. And my example was, the lost manatee looked scared, where looked was our linking verb. Go ahead and write those in complete sentences. Make sure you bring them in next time I see you, and don't be afraid to learn. Bye guys.